Archives of Prasar Bharati presents the timeless treasure of golden era.
Hello and welcome to Living on the Edge. Over the past few weeks, we've been overwhelmed by letters asking why our program is shifted to the morning. Perhaps in deference to our viewers, Doordarshan has given us an evening slot that repeats during the week. We are on Saturdays at 8 p.m. on the national network and on Thursdays at 3:30 p.m. on the Metro channel. This week, as always, we cover a whole range of environmental issues. We report on the shocking incidence of arsenic poisoning in Bengal, reveal how the ridge is critical to Delhi's climate, and ask whether Ayurvedic medicines are really the answer to all our ills. But first, we have a report from Bengal where the incidence of arsenic poisoning has reached shocking proportions. What's even more shocking is that the disaster has been in the making for over 10 years. The government turned a blind eye to it when it was first reported, the press has long forgotten it, and the scientific community doesn't think it worthy of attention. Today, as thousands show symptoms of arsenic poisoning and the authorities struggle to come to grips with the problem, Priya Sumaya found that citizens in affected areas are forced to drink contaminated water as they have no other option.
In 1962, when the first tube well was sunk in a remote village in Bengal, villagers, instead of being happy, were scared, even terrified. Water from underground is a curse. It will invite the wrath of the devil, they said. Today, over 3 decades later, when almost every house has a tube well, it would seem as if their early fears were justified. Sanjay Sarkar first noticed the skin on his hands and under his feet begin to harden a few years ago. Then ulcers and scales developed and spots appeared on his body. Doctors were unable to diagnose the cause of his affliction, which went from bad to worse until he could scarcely breathe.
তোমার এই অসুখটা কি করে হলো?
Sanjay is suffering from arsenic poisoning, a condition caused by drinking water containing the dangerous chemical. Sadly, his predicament is shared by thousands of other people across 6 districts. Over 800,000 people are said to be drinking the poisoned water. Arsenic, in fact, is used to kill rats, and many a murderer has used this chemical with predictable consequences. It's known to cause severe vomiting and immediate death. But chronic arsenic poisoning of the type Sanjay Sarkar and others like him are being subjected to is slow and insidious. This process also kills, but over a long period of time, taking its victims through a whole range of diseases and afflictions.
इतना पूरा स्किन पर अल्सर हो गया था ना, उनका बाद धीरे धीरे आँख पर दर्द आ गया, आँख चला जाते हैं, वो लोग मालूम किया स्किन कैंसर, उनका भी जाए एक आंगुल भी कटना पड़ा है, घर का बहुत आदमी लोग मर गया.
Studies reveal that over 200,000 people are already showing symptoms of arsenic poisoning. Hundreds are said to have died before any treatment could begin. In fact, many of the victims are unaware that they are being slowly poisoned.
This manifestation, what you are getting in the people, is the late manifestation. That means when the arsenic they are consuming for many years, then these symptoms come. This excludes the children. So our biggest problem at this moment, what will happen to the children? because they will not show you immediately effect, but they are suffering from inside.
Take this family for example. There have been no reports of any illness, but urine tests taken of these children have shown the presence of arsenic in abnormally high quantities. It will only be a matter of time before the symptoms appear. But what has caused the presence of arsenic in the groundwater? This question has baffled both scientists and doctors alike. While it is agreed that the underground rock and soil in the area contains arsenic, the reason why it entered the underground water system is unclear. Some feel that overexploitation of underground water could be responsible.
If I take out your blood almost very quickly, you will succumb to that problem. So this is the scientific view, that due to this heavy groundwater withdrawal, the underground geology changed or geochemical reaction occurred. As a result, the rock, which is rich in arsenic, disintegrated.
There has been lot of introduction of the fertilizer and pesticides, and we are also finding that the groundwater is having phosphate content in the water. The phosphate has got tendency under the suitable chemical environment to release arsenic from the sediments.
Strangely enough, the presence of arsenic in groundwater is not unique to India. Taiwan, Japan, Hungary and the United States have also reported similar cases, though not over such a widespread area. And even as people continue to suffer, the government, it would seem, is indifferent to the need for urgent remedial action. In fact, it was in the early 80s when the first cases of poisoning were recorded and the presence of arsenic in groundwater confirmed. Dr. K.C. Saha, who first diagnosed the problem, remembers the initial reaction of the government.
They were silent up to 6 months, and after 6 months it was flashed in the newspaper by the local people of that Barasat Gangapur village. And after that, government was asking the director of School of Tropical Medicine to give another report, because that was probably misplaced.
এই সরকারি কল, সরকার মাটির নিচে যে ভালো জিনিসটা পায় সেটা যদি সরকারের হয়, তাহলে মাটির নিচেই আর্সেনিকটাও সরকারের, যেহেতু কলটাও সরকারে দিয়েছে।
I'm not agreeing to this concept that state government has not intervened. In fact, in 1983, when the matter was reported, they formed a group of experts, and those experts gave certain opinions.
Of course, a number of committees have been set up over the years, but villagers who continue to drink arsenic-contaminated water view these with cynicism, as few real solutions have emerged. But even as the government gropes for solutions, tempers run high as entire families suffer. Their plea is heart-rendering. Give us arsenic-free water, because the only cure for arsenic poisoning is clean drinking water. Until that happens, there's very little for them to do except wait and hope for relief.
इन लोग ने बहुत लेट भी किए हैं, अभी भी लोग कुछ काम करने के लिए सोचते हैं कि क्या होना चाहिए, क्या होना चाहिए, तो सोचते सोचते आधा से आधा प्राण खत्म होने वाला है।
That was Priya Somaya reporting from Bengal. Before we go on to our next item, I'd like to read out a letter from Anil in Indore. मैं आपसे एक बात कहना चाहता हूँ कि आप कार्यक्रम में हिंदी और अंग्रेज़ी मिलाकर बोलें, ताकि जो लोग अंग्रेज़ी नहीं जानते हैं वो लोग भी इस कार्यक्रम को समझ सकेंगे. Anil, all I can say is that Doordarshan has cleared 2 language versions, Hindi and Tamil. This means that Living on the Edge will be telecast all over again from episode 1 in these 2 languages. But that will take time. For our next story, we turn to the capital and a small patch of forest that runs through it. Called the Ridge, it acts as a dust barrier, a controller of noise pollution and a purifier of air. Over the years, despite safeguards, it's been progressively degraded and encroached upon. Today, it's condemned to an almost certain death. Sunil Manoharan reports.
Delhi Ridge was once home to over 200 species of birds and over 60 species of butterflies. Today, many of these species have either disappeared or stopped visiting the ridge. The reasons are not far to find. 40% of the ridge has been destroyed over the past 30 years, leaving little room for animals to survive undisturbed. Strangely enough, it's government-approved projects like hospitals, petrol pumps and police camps that have taken the maximum toll on the ridge. Add illegal constructions and you find disaster has already struck. In these circumstances, under pressure from NGOs, the government set up the Lavraj Kumar Committee to decide upon a future course of action. Since then, the ridge has been demarcated as a reserved forest. Besides, all construction after 1980 has been declared illegal and an officer has been deputed to look into ensuing claims.
लवराज कमेटी का जो रिकमेंडेशंस था उन्होंने ये तो कहा था कि उस वक्त दिल्ली सरकार नहीं बनी जब लवराज कमेटी ने रिपोर्ट दी। उन्होंने कहा था कि कोई और इसको ठीक प्रकार से सरकार के पास होना चाहिए, लेकिन अब आप देखिए आपके सामने यहाँ पर दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय के पास स्टेट ट्रांसपोर्ट अथॉरिटी का दफ्तर है, उसके साथ जो हिस्सा है वो डीडीए के पास है और उसी में लोगों ने अंदर रेस्टोरेंट चला रखे हैं दीवार तोड़ करके।
To make things worse, a host of agencies are all jointly responsible for the ridge. They have different political bosses and often work at cross purposes. While the New Delhi Municipal Corporation and the Delhi administration are responsible to the elected Delhi government, the CPWD, the Land and Development Office, the Delhi Development Authority and the Ministry of Works and Housing are accountable to the central government. The result is a bureaucratic nightmare that makes protection of the ridge less than effective. This CRPF camp, for example, set up during the 1984 riots, was supposed to be temporary. Today, it's permanent, although it shouldn't have been there in the first place.
है वहाँ पर कैंप, लेकिन मैंने कहा ना वो डीडी के पास ज़मीन है, डीडी के नियंत्रण में है। हमारे नियंत्रण में होगी तो हम एक एक को चुन करके जितने भी अतिक्रमण उसके ऊपर हैं, हम उनको नहीं छोड़ेंगे वहाँ पर।
I was talking to CRPF Jawans, they have a camp there and they said, we took 15 days to clear this area. I said, you know, nature took 1500 years to build it.
Seized by a sense of urgency, more and more groups are taking matters into their own hands. Every second Saturday, children from Delhi schools undertake a nature walk on the ridge. The underlying hope being that the coming generations will take its ecological duties a little more seriously than the present one.
When you grow up, you turn out to be journalists, very much nature conscious. Some of you will become administrators. So you see, when you are acquainted with all these facts, you become a nature lover.
The area is ideal for an outdoor botany class, given the various species of plants and birds right in the center of Delhi. Besides, classes in the fields might just begin a conservation movement once its enchanting qualities are noticed by larger numbers of people.
Really fantastic within the heart of Delhi to find such a quiet place and a beautiful place like this.
दिल्ली में रहते हुए इतनी हरियाली बहुत ही आश्चर्य भी लगा कि अभी तक ये इतना बचा हुआ है, क्योंकि बड़े शहरों में तो अब ये सब देखने को भी नहीं मिलता.
The ridge is like the lung of Delhi. It acts as a purifier of air and a replenisher of oxygen at a time when pollution levels have hit an incredible high. Moreover, the ridge acts as a dust barrier during the summer when dusty winds from Rajasthan prevail. It also plays a significant role in noise control with its thick undergrowth and tree cover. And yet our administrators prefer conversion to parks by clearing trees and growing grass. Parks can neither retain topsoil nor can they absorb carbon dioxide and emit oxygen.
Delhi has many parks. It just has one ridge. And on ridge, there are 5 big parks made. For any city to survive, 20% forest cover is needed. Ridge only forms 6% of the forest cover. We need parks, but why on ridge?
Perhaps one way to save the ridge is to take the recommendations of the Lavraj Kumar Committee a little more seriously. For starters, some of Delhi's residents will have to be involved in the process as honorary wardens. The NGOs need to be involved too and given a little more managerial control. But as long as the ridge continues to be handled by half a dozen different bodies with differing aims and objectives, you can say goodbye to Delhi's climate regulator, noise pollution controller, and home to scores of living species created over thousands of years.
Behind the seemingly endless list of environmental problems that beset us is an increasing awareness among citizens of the consequences of their actions. Nitesh Patel, a science student of Bombay, writes, "I'm a regular viewer of your environmental concern team. I'm thankful to you all because you are the ones who've showed a careless person like me a path to give our country a green environment. I've decreased my plastic consumption by 45% from December. I want a special mention made of this in your program." Well, Nitesh, I hope you realize that this is a special mention because we receive hundreds of letters and it isn't possible to reply to all of them. I hope our viewers will understand that. The science of life, or Ayurveda, focuses on a person's individuality rather than his disease to cure him. After experimenting with modern medicine and allopathy, more and more people are returning to their roots, as it were, and adopting ancient cures. Nandini Rajwade takes a closer look at a traditional system of medicine and the consequences of its commercialization.
They met together in the Himalayas, 50 of the most eminent sadhus of the time, to discuss the causes of human ill health and disease. Collectively, they approached the Lord of Immortality to learn the science of life, and that's how Ayurveda was born. It focused on the person rather than the disease, much like concentrating on the root to heal the branches. You may not believe this story, much less trust the efficacy of one of the oldest forms of healing, but there can be no doubt that increasing numbers of people around the world are returning to nature to meet their health requirements. Traditional systems of medicine are being revived and becoming popular as consciousness of the side effects of synthetic drugs spreads.
This Ayurveda don't have any side effects. That is the main thing. But the effect of the treatment, even if it is slow, but it is genuine one, it is long lasting also. Allopathy treatments, they are suppressing. We are curing the disease, not suppressing the disease.
Perhaps the most appealing facet of traditional medicine is its principality. Many of the prescribed mixtures can be made easily at home and achieve the same results as conventional drugs. Take milk with haldi, for instance, or tea with methi. Warm milk with haldi is known to cure sore throats, while tea made with methi seeds is as potent as a quinine tablet for fever. If you are suffering from stomach pain, grated ginger and lemon is ideal. And if your energy levels are low, an orange squeezed into warm water and drunk every 2 hours has the same effect as a general tonic.
Potential of traditional systems of medicine. This is one area which can play a very crucial role, especially in a third world country like India, where we face a lot of problems, for example, the cases related with malaria outbreaks and different epidemic outbreaks. Oral rehydration solution, which basically says to reinstall the water which has been lost from the body, which can prevent the dehydration deaths, which is the main reason for deaths because of diarrhea cases, can be minimized by using what is available in one's own kitchen itself. For example, like this kanji, that is rice porridge water, light water.
But despite all its obvious advantages, nature cure, the way it's practiced today, has 2 major drawbacks. The first is the absence of standardization. The second, absence of quality control. Obviously, these drawbacks do not apply to remedies you create at home, but rather to the bewildering variety of products available on the market, ranging from general tonics to herbs that arrest hair loss to cosmetics. It is a catchy situation. To protect age-old remedies, the government exempted them from excise duty. Once these products were exempted from excise, they were freed of the need to be clinically tested, something all other pharmaceuticals have to go through. As a consequence, commercial interests have focused on herbal medicines and huge profits are garnered without any real accountability.
There is no very clear good manufacturing practice nor good marketing practice as far as these products are concerned. And from the government side, there is no comprehensive policy which looks at all these issues. The issues related with the traditional systems of medicines, which includes the pricing, the quality, and its efficacy and scientificity. That's why you find a lot of products in the market, like high alcohol content suras, which often contains alcohol than what is present in ordinary liquor like gin and rum.
In fact, the Central Council for Research in Ayurveda has stated that the alcohol content in Ayurvedic medicines should not exceed 12%, which is the amount generated by the natural fermentation of herbs. But there is a need for a comprehensive policy, as the Vicks VapoRub controversy revealed. VapoRub is known to contain menthol, and a 1986 drug policy brought the substance under price control. Almost overnight, Vicks VapoRub began to call menthol by its Ayurvedic name and claimed cost benefits. Even the popular Chyawanprash is said to lack certain vital herbal ingredients, and Ayurvedic digestive toffees are known to contain up to 97% sugar. And it's not just medicines and digestive aids we are talking about. When you consider herbal cosmetics, you are talking about one of the fastest growing industries. Take herbal shampoos for instance. Experts claim herbal shampoos never lather naturally, and artificial ingredients are always added. Marketers of herbal cosmetics, however, deny this.
You see, we use natural preservatives, like common household achar has a natural preservative. That's how it lasts you 2 years. There are, in nature, has haldi, turmeric or salt, oil. All these act as natural preservatives. So similarly, Ayurveda has laid down what natural preservatives are, and we're using natural preservatives in the products.
I don't think all the medicines are natural, because people have craze for Ayurveda and herbal things. So many people are coming up and they are telling they are herbal oils, they are herbal cosmetics, they are herbal creams, herbal shampoos. The people are behind them.
But perhaps the most worrying consequence of enhanced commercialization of herbal remedies is the rapid, uncontrolled depletion of medicinal plant and herbs. Many plant species have evolved over hundreds, even thousands of years, and unless simultaneous breeding takes place, they will disappear in a few decades. In fact, a World Health Organization study has predicted that 60,000 plant species, or roughly a quarter of the total, will become extinct by the middle of the 21st century if present trends continue. The danger of herb extinction looms large, and unless we are able to evolve a comprehensive conservation policy to ensure that natural products are as natural as they can possibly be, nature care will soon be extinct. As extinct as the herbs our forefathers knew, but which we failed to protect.
Parental smoking is responsible for at least 17,000 admissions to hospitals each year of children under 5 years.